My name is John Griffin. In all likelihood, you have never heard of me and are rightly wondering why you should spend time watching this video. The answer is straightforward. I will offer you a seldom heard perspective on the critically important topic of universal basic income, or UBI. I will introduce myself more thoroughly later, but first I will get straight to the point. I created this video channel because I am afraid and frustrated. I am afraid because modern Western economies have a serious problem that could destroy the very fabric of our society. And I am frustrated because there is a straightforward solution to that problem, and yet almost no one is properly promoting that solution. The problem I am referring to is that modern capitalist economies are now able, through computerization and automation, to increase their output while employing ever smaller percentages of their workforce and underpaying the workers they still employ. Since people need income to claim a share of our economic output, the unemployed and underpaid are simply left out or are forced to seek help from a perpetually broken welfare system. If these trends are left unaddressed, such a winner-take-all economy will produce ever-increasing income and wealth inequality and ever-increasing resentment among those left behind. That resentment, if not addressed, will inevitably boil over into political and social chaos that may very well destroy our society. In fact, that process has already started. Some claim that the solution is to abandon capitalism altogether and replace it with some form of socialism or even communism. Such an extreme solution is not only undesirable, it is simply unnecessary. All we need to do is modify our current capitalist system to include a universal basic income, or UBI. Of course, achieving that goal will not be easy. Individuals and groups have been talking about universal basic income for decades. Advocates point out that scores of UBI pilot programs have consistently shown positive results. Opponents then brush aside those results by claiming that such programs are still nothing more than charity or welfare that take money from hardworking people and give it to freeloaders. Those opponents have had the upper hand for too long, simply because no one is presenting an argument that is strong enough to show they are wrong. I am convinced that such an argument exists and that it shows how objections to a UBI are not only wrong, but simply irrelevant. What I am referring to is known as the technological inheritance argument for universal basic income. In very brief form, that argument says the following. Even though a business owner can buy a machine that enables him to replace human workers, not all of the value created by that machine belongs to that business owner. Clearly, that idea runs counter to common belief, but it is true for the following simple reason. Today's highly productive capital equipment could not and would not exist without the knowledge, technology, and public infrastructure that society has accumulated over centuries. While some knowledge and technology may still be covered by unexpired patents, the vast majority is now in the public domain. In other words, we, the people, own it, and its value-creating power belongs to all of us by simple inheritance. It has become our societal heritage. Now, when capital equipment uses intellectual property that is covered by a patent, the patent owner expects to be paid a royalty. However, when that patent expires and its value-creating power becomes public property, royalty payments for its continued use are somehow conveniently forgotten. The technological inheritance argument says that those royalty payments should continue, and they could easily pay for a universal basic income. An added benefit is that those royalties will enable us to pay for a UBI without deficit spending, without causing the inflation often associated with deficit spending, and this is the part that libertarians will love, without taking even one penny of anyone's hard-earned money. The simple truth is that no person earned that money. It was earned instead by the value-creating power of our societal heritage. A more detailed development of the technological inheritance argument appears in the video shown below. I recommend you view that video next if you have not already seen it. A pointer to it is pinned above the comments section. Unfortunately, most UBI advocates do not use the technological inheritance argument because they are simply unaware of it. The sole purpose of this video channel is to increase that awareness in order to enable and accelerate the adoption of a universal basic income. My fervent hope is that the ideas contained in these videos will be embraced by UBI advocates so we can break the logjam that currently impedes the adoption of a nationwide UBI and thereby create a future that works for everyone. My fear, however, is that Winston Churchill may have been right when he said, "You can always count on Americans to do the right thing after they've tried everything else." I fear we simply don't have the time to try everything else. Now, I do not claim that any of the ideas in these videos are original to me. In fact, the idea that underpins this entire series can be traced back to at least the writings of Thomas Paine in the late 1700s. And the approach I have taken in creating these videos was inspired by the two publications you see on the screen now. I have pinned references to both of them above the comments section of this video. I'm fully aware that this subject generates many questions. If I tried to answer them all in one video, I would exhaust and lose my audience. For that reason, this channel contains several short videos in an attempt to avoid the tedium of too many ideas at one time. Also, the videos in this channel use economic data primarily from the United States. I did that simply because I am more familiar with that data. It is not my intent to ignore other countries, and I am confident that other advanced economies are similar in regard to the data and examples I use. This channel is also a work in progress and will be for some time. New videos will be added and existing videos may be updated. Older versions may no longer be visible in the channel list, but they will not be deleted so that links to them will still function. Now, I am fully aware that the goal of most video content creators is to make money by having advertising attached to their videos. I am not one of those people. I do not need or want such income. I created this channel simply because I don't want our society to experience the chaos that I fear. And trust me, if my intent was to make money, I would definitely choose a topic other than universal basic income. Therefore, I apologize in advance for any advertising that may appear. I have no control over it. In the very unlikely event that I receive income from any of these videos, I will donate all of it to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And now I will finish introducing myself. Once again, my name is John Griffin. I was born in the U.S. and grew up in the state of Michigan. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Science and Mathematics from Michigan State University. After a tour in the military, I spent my career writing software and designing electronics in that area of Northern California known as Silicon Valley. I am now retired. Other than Econ 101, I have no university training in economics. However, I do have a lifelong interest in how economies work and often don't work, and I spend more time than I should thinking about the role of workers in an increasingly automated economy. But more importantly, I don't believe the ideas contained in these videos require a deep knowledge of economics. I feel they are really just common sense. As you have probably already noticed, my videos are not meant to be entertainment. They exist to present ideas that I consider important. There is no background music or irrelevant images and video clips. And behind me, you will see just a blank wall. If you notice those details and are still with me, then you are probably a member of my target audience. Welcome to my channel. Please consider subscribing and pressing the like button so we can increase the chances that this important topic will be recommended to other viewers. Once again, if this video is your introduction to my channel, then allow me to recommend that the next video you view is the one titled The Technological Inheritance Argument for Universal Basic Income. That argument and its implications form the basis of this entire channel. I hope you find its ideas as inspiring as I do.